Good morning, of course. Thank God it's Friday. You're welcome to Nigeria Now, showing on your digital first Pan-African news network, 2S Television. My name is Merciful Ajinabo. And to analyze some stories this morning on front pages of newspapers is Adebayo Fajimi. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
Happy Friday.
Thank you.
On the Daily Independent newspaper, the banner headline there is talking about I'm overwhelmed by Northwest security situation, and that's coming from Buhari. Of course, there's still about the security issues that's facing the country, and we have two riders. The first says he has ordered military not to spare band-aid, and then optimistic Nigeria shall win battle over evil. I mean, yes, we've been talking about security, and now the president is saying he's overwhelmed. And will we not say this is, will I say too late? Is that the word to use? But it's coming to the end of his administration. Two different tenures in government. And at this point in time, where people are already conversing for political candidate, he's saying he's overwhelmed. This word by security situation. What's your take on it?
Yeah, of course. One should expect that from a passionate leader, a sincere leader, and somebody who is willing to take responsibility. At the same time, like I have said over and over, that, our approach to curtailing this menace is not strong enough. So somebody once said that it is not the number of troops, that you have that determines how you win a war, but the superiority of your strategy is what really counts. And just like I've been saying on this program, that we need to change tactic, we need to change approach. Pushing military hardware and all of that to fight this problem, it's not enough. So we need to sit back and, just like when one of the lawmakers in Safara said, I think last week, that even these terrorists have been changing tactics and their approach of operation. So the federal government needs to come back, re-strategize. Those who are saddled with the responsibility in that sector, the security sector, need to sit down and re-strategize and change tactic. Do we understand the modus operandi of these people? What is their motivation and how are they operating? So there are a lot of things they need to do, rather than just say, okay, we do this, we just do that. So as long as we continue to repeat this same thing that is not working, we will not get the desired result. And I think it is high time, if the president, just like he said some time ago, that he doesn't want to live as a failure, he needs to really take this issue very seriously, and to ensure that they need to change approach and the tactic and the way they are tackling this problem.
And you think there's still ample time for him to do all of that before he leaves?
Of course, it can never be too late. It can never.
Definitely, I agree with you on that one. And still on the Daily Independent newspaper, from the very top of the picture of the day there, we see Fayemi's former SSG Oyebanji wins Ekiti APC Guber primary. That's coming on page 29 of the Daily Independent newspaper. And besides that, we see NNPC gets $5 billion rather from Afrexim Bank to drive investments in oil sector, and FRS exceeds 2021 revenue target, generates 6.405 trillion naira. That's on page 7. Reduced prices of building materials, MFLA tells manufacturers, and it's still on page 7. And then our helicopter didn't crash in Bauchi. That's coming from police of the state. And then we see Buni gets Buhari APC governor's nod to preside over convention. And the writer says APC Northwest legislators endorse Bello for president in 2023. And then we see PDP accuses federal government of hiding under fuel subsidy to siphon 3 trillion naira. And that story is on page 7 of the Daily Independent newspaper. We move over to the Daily Trust. Our promotion racket rocks road safety. 4 riders. The first, Yobe, Sokoto, Bayelsa, Rivers, shortchanged. And the second, Oyo, Edo, Enugu, Ebonyi, others favored. List of promotable officers not for public. That's coming from the FRSC. And Corps Marshal overstays. That's on page 5 of the Daily Trust. From the very top, Osentinti as UAE lifts ban on Nigerian flight, imposes conditions. Despite denial, APC chieftain says zoning list genuine. And then Buhari commissions BUA's 3 million metric ton cement plant in Sokoto. That's on page 21. Then we see killers of police officers arrested in Jigawa. That's on page 35. And FCT NUT chair says no alert, no work. That's on page 34. And then on Hanifa's case, court remands school proprietor's wife. That's on page 10. And then pastor rapes housewife had two daughters in Ogun State. That's a sad story on page 35 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And then before we move over to the business day, talking about no alert to no work coming from the FCT NUT chair. What's your take on this position of the FCT, Nigerian Union of Teachers chairman?
I think last year, they had something, and I'm not sure something reasonable is going to come out of this protest this time around, because these people who are supposed to listen to them are busy campaigning. And don't forget that February next month, I think 12 or so, is the council election. So everybody is busy, trying to strategize and how to come back to office now. But I'm not really, to be honest, to be frank, it is very bad, when teachers' salary, if they are not happy, because these are the people who will shape and mold the destiny of the younger ones, the future of the nation, the future of this country. So if they are not doing their work the way they should be doing it, or they are not even doing the work, so what do you expect? Of course, there is danger ahead, and that is why they must attend to these people and ensure that they give to them what is due.
Definitely, I agree with you there. To give to them what is due. We move over to the Business Day newspaper, and the banner headline there is Amid Dollar Curb, BDCs remain small business savior. Of course, that's on the front page of the newspaper. And the new electoral law bars politicians from INEC. That's on page 30 of the Business Day newspaper. New refineries only solution to petrol subsidy crisis. That's coming from Nigeria Labour Congress. And then all rally to elude Nigeria on 3 trillion naira subsidy. That's coming from World Bank. And then cashew output seen rising 20% on good weather. That's on page 2 of the Business Day. On the Guardian banner headline there is Discos face imminent collapse, wallow in debt. We have a couple of riders there. And then just underneath the picture there, we see AIB begins probe of police helicopter crash in Bauchi. And then 3 died, 24 houses raised in Delta gas tanker explosion. And then just underneath that, we see NEDC consult with MDAs, security agencies on Northeast Stabilization Development Master Plan. That's on page 3 of the Guardian. We move over to the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Reps begin probe of actual daily consumption of PMS. That's to ascertain maintenance, rehabilitation costs of refineries. And then on the very top there, we see amidst boycott by 7 aspirants, Oyebanji wins against the APC primary. We see 2 riders there. The first, aggrieved aspirant should approach appeal panel. That's coming from Oyebanji. And IU heads against the PDP gubernatorial primary appeal panel. On the Blueprint newspaper, the banner headline there is our job creation economic policies working. And that's coming from the President, Muhammadu Buhari. We can get out on page 6 of the Blueprint newspaper. On Nigerian News Direct, we have FG targets 1.2 trillion naira from network operators in 10 years. And that's on page 3 of the newspaper. We have a couple of other stories right there on the front page. And then lastly, we have on the Punch, House Security Report forced Buhari to cancel planned subsidy removal. We have a couple of riders there, and that can be found on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. And then, of course, we see the pictures of the day there. APC aspirants alleged fraud. Fimix ex-SSG wins Ekiti governorship primary. That's on the front page right there of the Punch newspaper. Thank you so much, Mr. Adebayo Fajimi, for gracing the occasion with us.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much. And thank you, viewers, for staying tuned to Nigeria Now, showing on your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television. Don't forget, we come your way every Mondays to Fridays. Until next Monday, my name is Merciful Ajinimo. Bye and stay safe.